Tonight's clap is going on for a really long time. This is the longest. I came out to my little secret secluded place. Okay, I don't really need to be wearing this. I just had a realization. I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but sometimes when I have a secret spot that I think only I know about, not that only I know about it, but somewhere where I want to have for myself, and I go there and I find someone else is there, whether it be just a place that I like to sit by the river, or this place where I filmed my quarantine tag video is actually on the other side of this building. It's this nice little area with chairs. I mean, I'm on the other side, which is fine, but it made me realize, who am I to think that this is my spot? Like, oh, this is my little spot. This is my place to sit. This is my area. It's like, no, Melanie, the world does not belong to you only. There's other people in it who want to go the same places you go to. So I shouldn't get annoyed. I don't know why I feel annoyed, because I go over there and I see this woman doing these stretches, standing in my spot, and I was like, okay. So it made me realize, don't be selfish. Anyway, welcome to week 5, not week 5, welcome to week 6, 7, and 8, 9, I don't know what week we're on now, I can't keep track anymore, but I haven't uploaded a video since week 5, so this is gonna be what I've been up to since my last vlog, so I hope you enjoy. Oh my gosh, it's here. Wow, this is so exciting. Today's family painting day. Today we're doing the anxiety relief mountains landscape painting.
First of all, what I'm going to do is damp my brush using a bit of water.
Oh no, it's darker. No way, I can't. There's so many colors.
Millie, just have fun. Stop stressing out. Just do your best. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Am I the only one having fun right now?
Like, in a house, and there was not even a house. There's a mountain. Yeah, there's a mountain to replace.
It's going to reflect what's around it. So instead of just going straight for the blue, I'm going to be blending a lot of greens in there. And I think the closer to the edge is going to be darker, and the more we come out, the more it's going to reflect the sky.
Wait, did I flip it? Tina, your camera's sideways. Amazing. Oh, that's amazing.
That's so cool. Alright, so this is the finished product. I'm not super happy with it. I feel like it needs something, but I guess we'll just leave it for now. This is our live stream setup for today. Going to get coffee because honestly, I've been getting so sick of just drinking the same K-cup watery coffee at home. I feel like there's at least one thing that happens every day that makes me question, am I losing my mind? Today, so I was looking down the street and I see this man, and I was like, is he walking? Does he have a little pet pig? And is he walking his pig on the sidewalk? And it's a little dog with a pink jacket on it. And I'm like, Am I okay? Like, what's happening? So this is what things are like right now. There's lines. Pretty much any store that's still open, like that's a beauty store, they have lines outside, only a few people in at a time. Most places are closed though, honestly. Like this coffee shop I went to, I had to walk to it because a lot of the other coffee shops are closed. I'm just so grateful to have good coffee. And I used Apple Pay for the very first time, which is exciting. I only had cash and they were only accepting card or Apple Pay. I didn't have a card on me. Needed a change of scenery. This is actually the farthest I've been since this whole pandemic started. Usually I've been keeping within my neighborhood directly, but today I walked farther down. I'm at Columbia University now. Got some food. The place I got food from, it was really amazing. They're doing this thing where you donate $10 and that money goes to serve meals to the frontline workers. There's somebody who's wearing a cap and gown, which I'm really interested in wondering, like, what's graduation like? Are they doing a 6 feet apart graduation or something? Like, how does that work? Or are they just handing them out and then people are taking pictures? Another failed meal. Literally a frozen meal that, like, how do you mess it up? I don't know. I set the timer, I put it on, I stirred it occasionally, but still, I guess I didn't stir it enough because it burned. Another failed meal. Tried to make pierogies, there's smoke everywhere. I can't do this. The thing is, I was scared of burning them, so I took them off, but then the inside was frozen, so I don't know what to do. I mean, it's like you burn the outside, the inside is frozen. I can't cook. Okay, we're gonna try this again, except this time instead of doing it on the stove, since it burned, I'm gonna try to bake it. So hopefully this works, because I ruin everything. So these are the loaded baked potato pierogies. This was a fail, so we're gonna try this. Preheat oven to 400. Okay, oven is preheated. Spray cooking sheet and both sides of frozen pierogies with non-stick cooking spray. Both sides of pierogies, so you spray the pan and both sides. This is why I can't do this. Bake 18 to 20 minutes until golden brown and puffed, turning halfway through bake time. So the problem is, it says golden brown. So the problem with this saute is last time it was golden brown and burnt, but it wasn't 8 minutes and it wasn't cooked on the inside. So I don't know how to do this. Okay, are they puffy and golden brown? Okay, so they don't look burnt, which is the good news, but one of them is kind of exploding. I don't know if that could have been avoided. Now is the moment of truth. Let's see.
How are the pierogies?
Okay, so they're slightly rubbery, but they're not bad. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I guess we're having neighbors movie night. Okay, this is the setup. I have my pillow, blankets, and movie. Lionsgate is streaming these free movies apparently every Friday night, so tonight is La La Land. He won Best Director at age 32.
So please donate now. There's a button here.
Oh, they're raising money for movie theaters, I think.
Stay well.
This is so funny. Alright, well, have my wine, so I'm ready. Oh my gosh, it's starting. I remember watching this movie in the theaters, being so blown away. I'm like, the first opening scene of this, the way that it's filmed, the way the camera just pans, like those continuous shots, and you watch the motion, and the camera just follows along, and it doesn't cut. It's just amazing. And then cut to the reality.
It was pure insanity.
The thing I love so much about this movie is it shows like the reality mixed with the fantasy. Like we have this like romanticized musical like idea of the world, or like moving to a new city like LA, New York, but then it cuts to the reality of actually you're just sitting in traffic for hours and hours. And actually if you want to be an actress, you're gonna like go through all this rejection and all that stuff. And the love portion, the love story portion of it, not to ruin the ending if you haven't seen it, but it's just so good.
They don't have context. They don't know where it comes from. You know, jazz was born in a little flop house in New Orleans, and it just because people were crammed in there, they spoke 5 different languages, they couldn't talk to each other.
I miss jazz clubs so much.
You can't hear it. You know, you have to see it. You have to see what's at stake. I mean, look at these fellas. Look at the sax player right now. He just hijacked the song. He's on his own trip. Every one of these guys is composing, they're rearranging, they're writing, and they're playing the melody. And now look, the trumpet player, he's got his own idea. And so it's conflict, and it's compromise, and it's new every time. It's brand new every night. It's very, very exciting. And it's time. What am I watching?
He's like, and it's dying. I remember watching this in theaters, like crying. Me cooking during quarantine. This movie is just so good.
Sunset inside a frame.
This ending sequence though, just so good. That movie is just so good. Damien Chazelle.
Wow, right? Los Angeles.
Hey, you're fucking friendly.
Good news everyone. The deli has reopened, so don't have to starve to death, which is a good sign. Today is such a beautiful day, so I figured I would go for a bike ride, because one thing I've been wanting to do since all of this started is I'm so curious to see what Times Square is like and what downtown with no tourists looks like. Obviously not getting on the subway, not taking Uber, not really touching anything. I'm just gonna get a bike and go down there. This is so sad. Looks like they indefinitely are closing down this beer garden. So sad. It was just such a nice place to come have a beer outside on a nice night, especially when the weather's getting warm. It's already stressful. There's so many people on the path. It's so weird being down here. This is like the farthest away I've been from my apartment in over a month. I feel like a little kid again when your parents are like, okay, you can go outside, but don't go too far away from home. Don't want anything to happen. I made it to 40th Street, and there's the Empire State Building. It's so fun to be in a new place I feel like that newfound excitement of when I used to visit New York before I moved here. Getting a glass of rosé to go in New York. I feel like I'm in New Orleans where you can just get alcohol to go. It's so fun. Made it to Times Square area. It's so weird seeing like no people on the sidewalks in the middle of a nice day. Usually when you come down here, it's packed, like jam-packed. You can't even walk. Tourists everywhere, people taking pictures, people stopping. But now it's just some people on bikes, it's a few cars. It's so weird. Made it to Times Square. Testing out my gimbal. Hopefully this is balanced. I really was curious to see what Times Square would look like with no tourists. So yeah, there's not really that many people around. It's just so weird because usually there's so many people in the line for tickets to buy Broadway shows, but there's no one there. The Disney store is closed. Yeah, pretty much everything is closed down. I mean, McDonald's is open. Yeah, Forever 21 closed, all the stores are closed. So there's not really that many people out. There's just like a few sparingly. There's this one couple who's running around blasting Frank Sinatra. I forgot it's 7 p.m. and every day at 7 they do the clap and the cheer for the essential workers. So I just heard some people honking their horns and stuff. I was just thinking, Earth Day recently passed, and I remember coming out here when Chris was visiting New York. He was like, in Times Square they're gonna do Earth Hour and they're gonna shut off all the lights, not all the lights but most of them. And so we were so curious, we were like, we need to see what it looks like. It's gonna be so crazy seeing Times Square dark.
It's Earth Hour, boys!
So apparently today is Earth Hour.
So for an hour on usually the last Saturday in March, usually big cities and things around the world turn off their lights for 1 hour. So right now we are in Times Square and you can't see it, but they've either dimmed or turned off all the non-essential lights within reason.
This is cool.
Junior's sign is out.
Junior's
Someone's frozen and things. If you look back, all those lights are out.
This is crazy, because Times Square is always like the brightest, all the pieces
Very
are flying.
quiet, you can't hear Times Square if you just noticed.
Quiet. They turned off some of the billboards. That was a year ago, or was it 2 years ago now? I think it was a year ago. I'll have to go back and search through my old memories, but I just think that's so interesting because now, kind of doing the same thing, I'm like, oh, I need to go see what Times Square looks like. Not when it's dark, because I still need to bike home. I think for many of us, we started out this whole situation with a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of unknowns. I think we're at the point now that it's been a month, we're kind of used to the new normal, if that's what you want to call it. We're all like kind of settled into our home routines, used to wearing masks outside, used to washing our hands and all that stuff. It's kind of like shocking at first when your whole world is basically turned upside down, but I think many of us are just settled in to this weird style of living. And I wonder how long it's gonna take for things to get back to normal. For like the tourists to start coming back, you know, when are people gonna wanna start visiting New York again? I just thought it was really interesting to come out today to see how empty it is. Well, that was a fun adventure. This is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Honestly, this is eerie. This is just a weird feeling because there's literally no one on this street. Me and one other person up there. It's sad because me and Alex were supposed to come see this. I forgot when. I mean, whenever things are back to normal. Who knows when that will be, but it's weird. It's Saturday night in New York City, Broadway, closed, completely quiet, no one on the street except for me. On a beautiful night. It's a really weird feeling. Just got my bike to head back home. This is so fun. Wow. Biking through New York. And honestly, when I first moved to New York, I moved here with my bike and I was so intimidated. Okay, this is really annoying. The bell is kind of loose. I was so intimidated because there's like so many cars zooming past you and people, and it's really crazy. But now we're in a nice time when there's like not as many cars on the road and it's a little less stressful, so I can just kind of do a leisurely bike ride. Hopefully it doesn't get dark by the time I get home. Made it back, good timing, still getting dark.
Bow down before him, yes, for he is wonderful. Sing hallelujah, Christ is risen. Bear your cross as you wait for the crown. Tell the world of the treasure you found.
Alright, that's going to be it for this week. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the bell icon because that way you'll be notified every time I post a new video. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to be posting weekly. I'm going to try to be more consistent with my upload schedule. And yeah, hope everyone's doing well and getting through this time the best that you can.